Whether you should salt your food or not salt your food seems to be a pretty hot debate within the carnivore community. There are people out there that do salt their food, the beef, pork, chicken, whatever it is, pretty moderately, and then there's people that do not salt their food at all. And the people that don't salt their food say that they've seen increased clarity. They got rid of some tiredness, sluggishness that they might have had, and no bloating anymore, that kind of stuff, right? And people that salt their food and don't seem to have any issues say I don't have any of those types of issues. I have my energy levels are good. Um, I don't have the bloating, any of that kind of stuff. And so you've got people on both sides. I have said for quite a while that I think it really depends on the person, and I still believe that. I also think that people can change as they go. I'm almost 4 years now on the carnivore diet. And in that time period, I've been pretty much salting my food all the time. And there's been a couple times that just to try it, I tried to stop salting my food and didn't last more than a couple days doing it. And so more recently here, I took 5 days without salting my food and did it as an experiment to see how things would go, see if I would feel any better or if I would feel worse. And this video, quick video here, is going to be basically about my experiences over those 5 days. So, day number one didn't seem too bad. I had three beef burger patties, a little bit over a pound, and I had some eggs. And I didn't really seem to notice any issues. However, in the evening, I did start to notice a little bit of an issue. I seemed a little bit thirsty, and I also seemed to get a little bit fatigued, like I would when my electrolytes are out of balance. So, sodium, which is the main component in salt, is a key electrolyte. I didn't want to just take salt to fix this because I'm trying the experiment and it could be an adjustment period. So I have an electrolyte mix that does have sodium in it. It has, your key electrolytes, mostly different magnesium, potassium, and sodium. So I went ahead and I mixed up a glass of water with that mix and had the electrolytes. Now, this was the first time I've had to use electrolytes in a few weeks. And I should also say, during this 5 day period, I decided that I wasn't going to do any exercise. So I wasn't going to do any crazy activity that would make me sweat more than normal, where you can lose electrolytes through sweating. And then also, I did not drink more water than normal, just the normal amount of water that I would drink, so that I wasn't peeing excessively and I wasn't losing electrolytes through peeing excessively. So anyway, I did the electrolyte mix first day in the evening, and pretty quickly I started to feel better. So I said, okay, maybe though this is just an adjustment period, and I'm going to keep moving on with this. Day 2 and day 3 seemed to go fairly well. I didn't really notice any issues, at least no big issues. The one thing that I did notice, eating my food. When I don't salt the food, the meat, I can tell a difference in the taste. Still tastes good to me, but I noticed that I got to the point of not feeling as if it tasted as good quicker than I normally do. And, for me, when I get to the point of the food doesn't taste as good, that's when I know that I'm full and I don't need to eat anymore. And that was kind of enlightening that I'm like, okay, maybe salting my food actually is masking a little bit how the taste is on my food. So I think that I'm still hungry and I maybe am not, and I'm eating more than I actually need to in a given setting. So I thought that was interesting. I had a steak the one day. Had I had some corned beef another day, which I know can be kind of salty on its own, but all the seasoning was removed in it before cooking, so I don't think it was too bad. But all meat has a bit of sodium content to it anyway. And that's the whole idea of people that say you don't need to add salt to your food because you're getting enough sodium from your meat. But anyway, so I had those things and I seem to be fine. So that takes me now to day number 4. And day number 4, um, I seemed fine during the day. I had ground beef patties, burger patties, and some eggs. And, I seemed to be fine during the day. But as the evening went on, I kind of got a little bit hot. I got sluggish, tired feeling. Um, just didn't feel the best in the world, right? Those kinds of things. And again, the thought came to me like, this is probably an electrolyte thing. So I took another electrolyte mix drink. And pretty quickly after that, I started to feel better. So that was day 1 and day 4 now that happened to me. But I said, okay, let's keep going. Let's see how this goes. Day 5. Fairly early in the day, I noticed I had a headache. And that was different for me. I again had ground beef burger patties. And no, again, not salting them. Again, I noticed same thing that before, maybe a little bit earlier, not eating quite as much of the food as I had been before. I got to the point that the taste wasn't quite the same for me, and I felt like it was time to stop eating. So that's a plus from not using the salt that I noticed. But anyway, again, I had the headache. Headache didn't seem to go away with eating. Um, and also, as the day went on, I started to get that tired feeling again. I also noticed that my legs not necessarily felt crampy, but they just felt a little weak, that type of thing. So these are all things that look point out to me as potentially a issue with electrolytes, right? Now, I decided I was going to have a second meal this day. So I then had a steak. And with the steak, I decided I was going to salt it and see if this made a difference. Because really, I was kind of feeling icky at this point. I could have gone with the electrolytes, but I was like, let me just do salt. Make sure that it's mostly a sodium thing and not a magnesium potassium thing, right? And so I salted the steak, and by the time I was done eating the steak, the headache was gone. Now, in terms of the icky feeling, I seemed to perk up a little bit, but I still wasn't feeling the best in the world right away. Um, Legs didn't seem as bad as they were or anything, though I seemed fine there. Again, the headache was gone, that kind of thing. So I don't know if it was just I still need a little bit more sodium or maybe potentially magnesium and potassium were a little off, though I don't really do anything for magnesium and potassium. And most of the time, I don't take an electrolyte mix. So I don't really think that was the issue. But I decided to take another packet of electrolytes. And again, I felt the energy come back up, didn't feel as tired, sluggish, that type of thing. Seemed to be pretty good fairly quickly into, that having that electrolyte mix. So that was 5 days. And day 6, I decided I was going to go back to just doing what I normally do and see how things worked. And I did that. I just ate one meal actually that day. It was a steak, but I salted it and I was perfectly fine all day. Didn't need to worry about the electrolytes. So, my experiment, again, for me, the results are that for whatever reason, I seem to need that extra sodium, that extra salt. So, I'm going to continue to salt my food. I hope this experience helps you a little bit. And remember, it's something that you really need to check yourself and see how it works for you. You might be perfectly fine with not adding salt to your food. You might need to salt your food, whatever. There are people out there that say you really don't need to add salt to your food. If you're adding salt to feel better, then there's some sort of thing that's not perfectly healthy going on with your body. That could be. That probably is. I was fairly unhealthy almost 4 years ago when I started the carnivore diet. I was pretty unhealthy, actually, very overweight, unhealthy, metabolically unhealthy, and 48 years of damaging my body is probably not going to make me perfectly healthy in 3 to 4 years, right? So that could be. Maybe that's just where I'm at, and I need to continue to salt my food. So that's what I'm going to continue to do.